I noticed the glow around the edges had stopped flickering. I picked up the monitor and turned to look at the screen. I saw my son standing as still as a statue in
What?
the middle of the living room, staring at the wall. Okay. Oh!
I don't like that.
You must buy the merch, MataraCon.shop, buy the merch. Today's message was brought to you by Early Morning Voice Matara.
Hello and welcome to a very, very special episode of Trashlight Confidential. Today, we are doing a spooky, scary story episode. Ooh. And my guest is the one, the only, my two-time back-to-back ex co-worker, Michi Mochievee.
What a crazy intro.
Yeah, how
the
does
fact
it
that you
feel?
chose me for this. Oh my god.
Well, we know that you, first of all, love spooky things, love creepy things, love ghost stories, are a witch and a shaman and a wizard, and most importantly, my ex.
Wow, it feels so damn. I've done this twice before. Yay!
Can we start that rumor, by the way? Instead of adding, like, just be like, oh, she's my ex twice, or like, yeah, we're exes twice, but it's actually because of work. If you know, you know, wink.
Yeah, I can't believe it. This is some crazy shit we've been going through.
We have been. Would you like to introduce yourself to anybody who is just tuning in, or maybe they don't know who you are? Who are you?
Good. Suck balls. No. Hi, I'm Michi Mochievee. I stream on Twitch, and that's it. I do nothing else. I make nothing else. Check out Matara. Look at this awesome outfit.
Why do you sound so suspicious when you say I do nothing else? I stream nothing else. Like, you make
do
it
nothing else,
sound
like
so
her.
suspicious.
Don't click the link on my Twitch. Do I have a link on? I have a very not suspicious link on my Twitch bio that if you click it, you'll find something really cool. It's like Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and something special.
Okay. I
Wink.
urge you all to click that link. Wink, wink. It's like
Wink,
a picture of a
get-
toe. Ooh, a big toe. The spookiest
Wait,
picture of them all.
Have you never clicked the link? Here.
No. Okay.
If you go, you see on the right, there's Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and then something special.
All right. Doing
Wink.
it live. Something special. I have clicked it. How did you know when I actually opened it? Did my face drop significantly?
Your face dropped and you see disappointment. Oh, it's so good. Wink. It's so good.
Anyway, that was a truly terrifying link. I encourage everybody to click it. So, for everybody tuning in, every week we read and react to some viewer submitted stories, but today we are doing a special episode of Reddit only spooky, scary ghost stories. So if you are somebody who's really into spooky, scary ghost stories, you've probably seen these ones, but we have not. Now, Michi, would you like to start with the reading, or would you like to start with the listening?
I want to listen to you first. I'm very, very good at horror, by the way. I just want you to know I make horror content almost every day and actively not try to avoid them.
By horror content, she means she streams. Michi, one thing about your streams, girl, can you stop? Like, can you please start streaming 8 hours? We need viewers, girl. You've been streaming 14-hour days. Can you please not stream as much? I beg you. I'm not kidding.
The fact that you went, can you do a short stream of 8 hours? You know how crazy that sounds?
Please, we need
8
viewers.
hours is so long, too. Oh.
Anyway, all right. So since Michi wants me to start, I'm going to read out a few of the story names that interest me. Let's see. Scary Stories. The Smiling Man. Ooh. The White Witch. Santa's Voice. You know what? Christmas in July. I'm going to do Santa's voice. Before we begin, I want to know your kind of quick experience with horror. Are you somebody that likes horror games? Do you like haunted houses, scary movies? Talk to me.
Last time I played Resident Evil and I called it my pause simulator, bro.
Which Resident
I
Evil?
hate. I played Resident Evil 4. The
Mhm.
only reason I could actually finish that game is because the guy that chases you around the game is kind of hot. That's it. Everything else scared the living shit out of me. I hate horror. I can't handle horror.
But wait,
Great pick for today.
what? Wait, no. Are you kidding me? I thought you were into this.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you tell me to stop? Is it
No, no,
because
no. The thing is, right? I hate horror, but if there's like a hot person in there, I understand. Like I see it. Like I understand the vision, right? So if you're telling the horror stories, I'll understand the vision. But if I have to like play it alone, absolutely fucking not.
Girl,
Absolutely fucking not.
I thought that because you liked occult, witchy, spooky, you like the crime stories.
Oh
That's
yes.
oh, okay.
You know that
Well,
meme of the girls that are like girls in horror movies, and they're like, "Oh, help me, I'm scared," and then they're like, their nails are cut off, their tongue is cut off, his head's cut
their
off, and they're just like
fingers are
chilling.
cut off. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, "Ooh, interesting."
Oh my god. Well, we're gonna have a spooky time then. Me too, girl. You know me. I get scared. Michi can attest to this. Sometimes when I play scary games, people think that I'm faking getting scared. But if you catch me off guard, if I'm like cooking or cleaning or doing anything, I will scream and jump. That is what I do. I get scared easy.
I still remember when we play horror games, right? I'll have Discord in a separate audio track just so I can turn it down by a little bit because you don't know how loud she genuinely screams when she plays horror. It like peaks.
It,
I'm like, damn.
I get scared easy. All right. Hopefully we won't get too spooked. We'll do our best. Michi, if you get too
Mhm.
scared at any time, you can hold my hand, okay? You can hold my hand, girl. I got
Yay!
you. All right.
Let's
Oh, wait.
go.
Oh, God, wait. I drink my water weird. 1 second.
Pff, That's the true horror. Drinking your water weird while you
Satan's
record.
coming out of me. Oh, imagine. Okay. So,
No.
scary stories. Santa's voice. This
Ooh.
is a story I do not often tell. I promise sincerely that this has scarred me for life. And although I have looked into psychological explanations for what I've heard and natural explanations for what occurred, they remain unsatisfactory. Ooh. When I was a child,
Ooh.
I was scared of the dark. I swore to my mother I heard voices in it. Okay. Starting off good. They were not evil, but they were not familiar, and so they scared me. It was not uncommon in the middle of the night for me to wake up and hear whispers, as I would call them. When asking my mom, she figured they were just bumps in the night and typical kids' nightmare material. I tried often to explain to her that it was more than that, that they sounded different from one another the way people's voices do. Okay.
Oh God.
On some nights, I would get so scared from these whispers that I would sleep in my mom's bed with her. It was an added bonus that the bathroom was directly outside of her bedroom door for my late night tinkles. Thanks for adding that. man.
Tinkles.
Little peepee guy or girl. Thanks for adding that.
Peepee.
Little peepee in the middle of the night. Sorry, by the way. I am gonna try to make jokes because otherwise I get too spooked.
Oh, we'll shit ourselves. No, no,
Yeah.
I like it. I also hyper focused on tinkles.
I should add at this point that when walking out into the hall to go to the bathroom, you look directly down the stairs that would lead you into my living room on the first floor, as my mom's
Aw.
bedroom was on the second floor. On one such night around Christmas, I awoke and felt the need to relieve myself.
I too feel that way sometimes. I understand.
I swear, Michi, it's supposed to be a scary episode. I walked out from the door and distinctly heard the phrase, "Look." And to my astonishment, a red light, almost like a spotlight, was cast upon the wall at the very bottom of the stairs. The light had no other source. It was by itself, and I was transfixed by it. Being a little kid and only being a few days from Christmas, I knew what this light was. It was Santa! How else could he get into my house to know I was being a good boy? I was so excited. I began walking down the stairs to greet him, picking up my pace after the second step as it began to creep off the wall and fade into the darkness in my living room. That's when I heard him. Okay, I'm going to try to make this sexy for us so we're not scared. A very strong masculine voice. Different from the first. Not at all like my father's. Not to say he isn't masculine. It was just distinctly different. It said, "Stop right now. Go back up those stairs." I listened,
Oh my
turned
God.
around, and what happened next, I am not sure I would believe if someone had told me this same story. After reaching the top of the stairs, I heard a very loud crash that sent me running back to my mother's bed, where I jumped straight under the covers and stayed there the whole night. When I awoke the next morning, the poinsettia lights, little Christmas flower lights that glowed red, my mother had put on the railing down the stairs were pulled straight down to the bottom of the stairs, some broken from what seemed like a forceful tear, laying in a single pile. The dry sink in my living room had fallen from the wall. My mother could not
What?
explain it. My father was worried we had been victims of a home invasion. My sister was crying. There was
Oh,
nothing missing. Nobody had broken in. There did not seem to be any reason this had happened. And then I saw it, and I kept quiet about it because I was so afraid that I could not force words out of my mouth. There, on the edge of the wooden dry sink, which had been facing up, were 3 indentations where the finish on the wood had been worn, almost as if in a forceful grip. Something down there had grabbed it and threw it down. That's what the bang was. I was mortified.
oh.
After that day, I never heard a single voice again. I do not like to imagine what was waiting downstairs for me that night, if it was anything at all. But I can tell you that the reality was that something had physically acted upon 2 things in my house near the bottom of that stairwell. After this, I had never heard another whisper, which is sad because in some ways I would have liked to thank the man, masculine energy, that had stopped me from going down those stairs. That happened when I was 7 or 7.5, as I like to say at the time. I am 20 years old now, and because of this incident, I am still afraid of the dark, especially shadowy stairwells.
Oh, I don't like how the story actually sounds realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's. Are they saying that like Santa was actually? Oh, I knew it. Santa's real. Santa saved you.
It was either Santa or Satan. We'll never know. Dun, dun, dun.
No, but Santa has a strong masculine voice. And stop right now.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
believe he saved us.
Okay, next time you're here, I need to show you the fanfic I was writing about Santa Claus. I'm not even kidding.
You what?
Yep. Next time, let me know. Okay, this is perfect. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to know about my Santa Claus fanfiction. I've talked about it on stream, but I can send it to you for reaction. Could I actually send it to you for reaction on stream after this episode is aired?
Is this like a self-insert? Like, did you just self-insert yourself like YNX Santa?
Basically, it was supposed to be, it was when COVID was starting and everybody was really sad. So I wrote this little story. I was starting to write it where it was like, I know that he was Father Christmas, but tonight I wanted him to be Daddy or something like that. It's just like a bunch.
Fuck! What the? Damn, the pandemic does shit to people, bro.
It was to cheer up my friends during Christmas time. But yeah, let me know if once this episode airs,
Send
if
it
you'd
to me.
like
You gotta-
Michi to react to it. I'd love that. I think you won't be ready for it. All right, how do you feel about it? Scary? Good start? Scary? How we feeling?
It's scary because it kind of sounds real. Like no one was like they weren't trying to be like, oh my god, this really spooky thing happened. It's just like
Mhm.
I see it. Maybe if you really think about it, voices at night. I don't know, man. Is that a haunted thing?
Yup.
Or are you crazy? I too hear voices,
Mhm.
but I too am crazy, right? But none of my voices are a masculine guy being like, "Stop, get back up there."
Stop right there,
You know what I mean?
criminal scum. You have violated the law. I used to be an
Why can't
adventurer
my
like you.
voice be sexy?
Okay, so wait. What do the voices in your head say?
You know those like when you're like cutting onions, right? You're like, what if you accidentally cut your finger off? Dun, 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 dun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
Well,
voices in your
what
head.
if I chopped off my wrist right now? How fast would I die? Would I get to the hospital on time? Yeah.
The intrusive thoughts, just girls
Mm.
being cute little girly girl things.
But you hear that in a different, because I kind of hear that in my own voice. No?
Oh,
If it's like jump off a bridge, it's my voice going, jump off the bridge, stupid.
oh.
You have different voices telling you to jump off the bridge, stupid? That's crazy.
In this episode, we find out that we're schizophrenic. Oops. No, but that's kind of scary. Low key. Can I tell them that there's like notes to some of these?
Yeah, of course.
There's one that says famous Reddit story from 13 years ago, followed by genuinely great ghost story. And then everything else is just empty.
It's because, okay, girl, it's because we're doing a special episode. That's why the genre of every story is scary. The spooky, scary skeletons, shiver spine. That's, girl,
I see that.
don't peek
Everything
behind
is
the
a
curtain.
six and scary.
Don't
Oh,
peek behind the curtain for the audience. What the hell?
I'm so
You're revealing
okay.
secrets. Yeah, I'd say for a starter story, it's genuinely a little spooky because it is super believable. I could believe it happened. And then you can also kind of rationalize that maybe the kid just was hearing a neighbor. Maybe the parents got into a fight and like threw the sink and, kind of pretended in the morning, something like, I don't know. Anything could have happened.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. You usually think about it, the whole Santa story is just making kids be okay with like home invasions at a young age, bro. Like we didn't have Santa. Like in Asia, Santa, the whole idea of Santa wasn't really a thing. But the idea of like a man breaking into your house, stealing your cookies, and leaving you a mysterious package doesn't sound as like intriguing when you know it as you're older. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my
Like
God.
as a kid, you're like, oh my God, amazing. But I heard the story of Santa when I was like 12. So I was like, you're telling me what
The
does
story
what?
of Santa goes crazy. All right, Michi, you know what? We got to get back to the scary stories, but I might need to have like a special Christmas back-to-back episode. One of them with you where I'm going to tell you my Santa stories from when I was younger.
Oh,
And then also like share images, and then we can probably read the fanfic together as well. I'll still have you
Oh my
read it on
God.
stream, but yeah.
yeah, your Santa story is gonna be sweet, and my Santa story is gonna be like,
No.
a man does what and did what and stole my what?
A lot of them was me
No.
trying to figure out because my parents would be like, "Oh, kids don't see the Christmas presents, or if you're not asleep, Santa will give you presents." And I would play little detective trying to be like, "Wait, how was this photo taken? Did you see the presents under the tree? Did you know that there were
Ah.
presents under the tree?" That kind of vibe.
Oh, no, my parents just went, no, I bought that.
All right, girl, scary story time.
Okay.
I feel like there's been no spooks and only laughs. Oh God. Oh
Okay,
God.
do you want me to try and tell a story in a scary way?
Sure.
Shit. Okay, let me.
Up to you, Michi.
I'll-
The world is your oyster. As my
Okay.
should I be saying ex coworker or ex coworker or ex
No, just say my ex. My ex who we got back together again and then broke up. Yeah. Spin that narrative. It's okay. You see this, guys? I'm first in the line. Trust me. I played these games before.
Read the story.
Okay, which one is... Should I pick the one that says genuinely great ghost story? I trust it.
I mean, I would recommend that you go probably by word count. That's gonna be
Oh,
about
I didn't even
double.
see that.
Yeah. I would recommend
Right.
you think, how much do you want to read?
Oh, wait. This one looks interesting. My son's doppelganger. Ganger. How do you pronounce that?
I also
Ganger?
don't know. I doppelganger. I also don't know. Go on. Ooh.
My son's doppelganger.
Right,
That's,
I'm waiting.
Ooh. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm closing my eyes for emphasis.
It was about 4 years ago.
Oh,
It
spooky.
wasn't the first paranormal occurrence to happen, just the one that scared me the most. One night, my 2.5-year-old son woke my husband up.
Scary.
Woke my husband and
Children
I up
and a husband. Terrifying.
when he crawled into our bed. I couldn't fall back asleep, so I decided to work on a project in my craft room. I was in there for about 45 minutes when the small monitor in the nanny cam started rapidly flickering on and off. Mind you, These were not motion sensor cams, only continuous feeds. The cams are
Ooh.
in the living room and our son's room. I went over to the monitor and picked it up. It all of a sudden made this loud, ear piercing sound like a mic feedback. It startled me, and I dropped the monitor face down. I noticed the glow around the edges had stopped flickering. I picked up the monitor and turned to look at the screen. I saw my son standing as still as a statue in
What?
the middle of the living room, staring at the wall. Okay. Oh!
I don't like that. I don't like
I,
that.
st- I started for the door with the monitor still in hand. When I glanced down again, my son's head turned.
Oh.
Only the head. And
No,
his
no, no, no,
eyes
no, no.
went directly into the camera in the upper corner of the room. He had no expression on his face at all.
hate that. That's straight out of that's scary
Oh
game.
my god.
That's
Oh god, I
scary,
have shivers.
spooky game.
I left the room and went through the small kitchen and dining room, rounded the corner to the living room, and it was empty. The door to our bedroom was on the other side. I went in there and my son was sound asleep in the same position he was in when I left. My husband looked up from his e-reader. I asked him if he had woken up and went to the living room. He told me no. I asked if my husband had gotten up to the bathroom or kitchen, thinking maybe he just didn't see our son trying to follow him. But my husband swears he hasn't left the bed at all, and our son has been peacefully snoring away the whole time.
Oh my
Like I said
God.
before, this wasn't the first time we had seen doppelgangers, but it was always so brief that you didn't really have time to get scared or have it completely register yet. This was different. It wasn't just a glimpse. Above all, it was the look on my son's face, the empty void stare when he turned his head to face the camera. Even now, typing it gave me chills. I don't like that one. I don't like that one at all.
It's so hard to say with these stories because a part of me doesn't want to believe, right? Like, oh yeah, really, haha. But then I think about how many stories there have been, and I'm sure there's a lot of them in your culture too, of babies getting changed in like the womb, not the womb, sorry, like the crib, or like being stolen by fairies, demons, or things like that, or like, or even that, like the.
Have you ever seen like a doppelganger before?
No, definitely not.
How
Have
would you know?
Mm.
Have you thought about it? Well, how would you know?
So, okay, that is a good question. I have not seen people that I thought were other people. Like I've never seen somebody been like, oh, let's say, oh, is that my friend Michi? And it's not Michi. That has not happened. But I have had people say that about me before. That people were convinced that I was at a bar, or maybe, okay, that could be me. That actually could be, or you know, that I was shopping somewhere, or I went on a trip somewhere. I've had friends say I just went back from vacation and I was convinced it was you. But the problem is, and maybe you can confirm or deny this, I feel like the woman whose body I inhabit looks a little bit like generic woman. So, for example, when Kirsten Dunst was much younger in Spider-Man, there was a lot of resemblance there. There was that actress from I forget her name, but in the movie with Johnny Depp, Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
there was that resemblance. So I've also heard that I look like a lot of typical Eastern European women, you know? So I also don't know if they really did see a resemblance or if they just saw an Eastern European woman. What do you think?
I honestly, I'm not from the West, so like your face is very different for me. Like I feel like I don't explain it. This may sound so weird, but it's like when I see other
Wait, you
Eastern
became a little
European
robotic.
people.
1 second. Can you talk? This is scary. Oh my God, it's the ghosts.
Oh
Okay,
no!
now you sound fine. Now you sound fine.
Oh God!
Go
Please
on.
not my OBS.
Yeah, there's this specific picture, but it was definitely when I was much younger, where people would say, where when this movie came out, people would say you were in this movie. I don't think we look that much alike, but I also can kind of see it. So I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest. This might sound kind of bad, but like because I grow up, right? Like growing up, I don't see like Western people as much.
Mm.
So now when I do, like if I don't know you, I have like face blindness. Like I can't tell who you are because like the features are unrecognizable to me until I actually know you. So like no joke, I don't see like, oh, this looks like you. It probably does, but you're the only person in my head
I'm
that
the only
looks
white
like
woman
you.
for you. Is that
Yeah.
it?
I don't meet that many white people. So
Well, I think it's because this
I heard that's
actress
a thing
is
though.
Polish and I'm, my flesh woman is
Oh.
Ukrainian. So I think there's a similarity. Yeah, I've definitely heard about that too, where it's like people will look kind of similar until you get to know them. That makes sense. And again, you
No, people
probably.
it's like a face blindness is what they said. Like if you don't grow up
Mm.
surrounded by that specific type of like group of people, you will experience face blindness if you meet different type of
Wow.
ethnicities and stuff like that. I
That's
heard
so
there was like
interesting
that's a
to me.
thing. And low key, I agree. It's like I
Mm.
can't tell.
See, that's kind of the thing with Canada.
That's
There's
weird.
so many different, growing up in a big city in Canada, you encounter so many different ethnicities, nationalities, people, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh.
A lot of immigrants. Whereas in Indonesia, I'm sure it's like
Mm.
a lot more just Indonesian or Asian folks, right? Maybe
Yeah,
South
yeah.
Asian,
Like
et cetera.
Indonesian, Asian, I can. Yeah, but like, I think when I first met you too, it took me a while to register like your face in my brain. It took longer for me
She
to be
just-
like,
I
that's
just-
Matara.
Imagine when we were on a trip together, you're following another random white lady. You're like
It's
at
like,
the
oh.
coffee shop, you sit down next to another woman and you're like, so anyway, girl, the other day, and then you realize it's not me.
I was like, that's probably the one. That is her.
I think that's my woman. I think that's her right there. You're so
That's
funny.
why we cling.
That's my
Wait,
girl.
that Sun doppelganger story is so fucking scary. But
Mhm,
honestly, if I feel like doppelganger stories are not as common, especially in Asia, because like
Oh, interesting.
I don't like listen, if you're gonna be a doppelganger and you're gonna be like me, and then there's gonna be another me in my family's house, I don't think the ghost wants that. You know what I mean? Like you're telling me now you have two people getting their ass whooped. Absolutely not. So I don't think doppelgangers are a very common thing, especially when it comes to children. Like
I think they're bigger in. Oh, sorry. What were you saying? But
hmm. No, continue.
they're bigger. They're much more prevalent, I think, in Europe because there's this idea of changeling, which was kind of like when fairies or elves or sometimes angels, etc., like switched your baby, and then usually they'd say like if your baby, because in the medieval ages, a lot of babies died early, right, in Europe. So if your baby would die early, or maybe your baby was growing up a little ugly, or maybe they were like, why is your baby a little different? They would say that it got switched at birth and that your real baby is living somewhere else. So I think because there's a lot of European immigrants in Canada, probably that's why, like in North America, it's also pretty prevalent. But again, maybe somebody can correct us in the comments. Let us know. Why are they not so prevalent in Asia? The stories of that. I wonder.
Yeah, doppelgangers aren't really a thing here. At least
Mm-mm-mm.
where I'm from. But I heard that people's fears are what like fuels like the ghost spirits. So like if a lot of people are scared enough about one thing, it becomes real. That's like a theory.
Oh, yeah. I remember. So, yeah, there's this idea that, like, it's also the same thing. That's why in a lot of ghost stories or in a lot of like scary stuff, it's like if you show that you're scared, right? Like it inspires the ghost to haunt you, etc. That's why I do believe that something is out there, but I also don't mess with it. I'm the kind of person where when people say, "Let's go to a haunted house. Let's summon like a demon with a weg board," I'm like, I'm good. You guys have fun. Like I feel like I respect it. I do not want the
Right.
flames. I do not want the heat. I do not want the ghosts.
You know what I've been trying to do and it's been kind of working?
Talk to me.
If you're scared about something, right? Just turn it into a kink. That's one thing like no joke, if you're horny enough about it, nothing is scary. Have you like if you really think about it, right?
If you're horny enough about it, nothing is scary. I don't know. Body horror was kind of scary.
If you're into it, it wouldn't be. Have you thought about like how many times, right? If you walk down a dark alley fueled by like just like you're just having a good time, you wouldn't walk down a dark alley. But if it's like at the end of that dark alley is like a really hot person that you're just really interested, you would walk down that dark alley. You know what I mean? You know, like if you put money on the other side of a dark alley, you'd be like, oh my god, I'm kind of scared. But a hot person down the dark alley, bolted. Just think less, boom. Right?
Michi, we need
It
to get you a
works.
wife or a husband. We need to. This is. Please do not go down dark. This is why you got kidnapped like twice. By the way, this is why you got kidnapped.
Oh my
girl.
God.
This is why you get Like now it makes sense. Also, it's the fact that you're like 45 kilograms. But yeah, this is why you got kidnapped, girl.
No,
For
I told
everybody
this to one of
listening,
my
do
friends.
not get turned on by going down dark alley. Oh my god, this is.
I
not
told
gonna-
this theory to one of my friends. My friend's like, true. Like back then when they were like trying to find love and they're like, oh, come over right now in the middle of the night. Like, you're not scared. You're just gonna come over in the middle of the night. But if it's like, oh, do you want to hang out in the middle of the night? No, absolutely not. That's scary as shit. But if it's
Michi.
like, come over, no one's home, you bolt.
This is why you got kidnapped twice. I'm just saying.
No,
Anyway,
no way.
my turn to pick a story, girl.
I'm
You're
telling you, my
crazy.
theory slaps.
You're
Mm-mm.
wild. You're going through it. You are so funny and so unhinged, and you are going through it. And I worry about you, girl. I'm.
No, this is an actual thing. Okay, people in the comments tell me if I'm crazy or not, because this makes so much sense. Like, your dick has brought you to places a gun would never dare, right? I'm
Why is a
telling
gun
you.
bringing you places? What kind of places do you need a gun in? Why do you need a gun?
Like that feeling of safety. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't go there with a gun. But if you're hormonal enough, you would. And I'm telling you, if you don't want to be scared, right? Scare them instead. Ghost can't scare you if you're turned on by it. Ooh, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Imagine you're
Trust
just
me.
getting possessed. You're like, oh yeah, block my airways.
You're gonna do what to me?
Oh, Michi. We need to reel this back in. We need to get back to being scared. People are
Okay,
going to tune into this
try and
episode and be
scare.
like, what kind of scary episode is this? It's just them talking about kinks. All right. Do you want me to read the genuinely great ghost story? Would you like that?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay,
The
I'm gonna
White
try and like lock
Witch.
in.
Okay. No, I like you locked out. It's funny. I
I
think
wanna,
you're great.
I wanna see if this is actually scary. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They hyped it up. They said
Okay.
genuinely great ghost
yeah.
story.
Sam, you hyped it up. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
In the early 80s, I lived in Okinawa, Japan. Oh, hold on. I gotta zoom in the text a little bit. I'm blind.
Oh,
dad
yeah, I've been
thought-
zooming in too.
Yeah. My dad thought that seeing the world would be an adventure that would help my brother and I become better men. And I have to say, I think he was right. Being in the military showed me cultures many would never get to experience, and I am thankful for every experience that life gave to me. Even the scary ones. Ooh. While we lived in Japan, my father wanted us to have a fully immersive experience, so he chose to move us to a small Japanese neighborhood off base. We lived in a little house at the top of an enormous hill in a, I only can say this word with the proper French, in the cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac. I don't know how they say
Cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac. Well, it's because Q is ass. So it's ass of,
Oh.
and yeah, cul-de-sac is like ass of sack.
Hui hui.
Yeah, that overlooked, I kid you not, part of a huge zoo, and on one side, a fairly large cemetery. Our particular
Wow.
house, wow.
Wow.
Wow. Our particular,
That's an interesting place to put a zoo. Well, what happens in the zoo? Damn, you go to the zoo right there.
cemetery. We go. Our particular house was set far above the monkey habitats, about a mile downhill. Between us and those habitats was nothing but thick Indiana Jones style jungle. The neighborhood kids and I would tromp through endlessly, ignoring the local warnings about poisonous snake and ancient untripped mines from World War II. Uh-oh. We were the only American family living in that, I'm going to call it CDS, cul-de-sac. completely surrounded by Japanese families, and it was amazing. The kids loved us, and although we couldn't communicate through language very well, we understood each other perfectly well most of the time. Opposite us was an older couple with a lush garden surrounding their property. The older woman wanted us to call her Mama-san, and she had us helping her garden whenever she could coax us over with green tea and chocolate banana cookies. We loved her.
Oh.
I know, delicious.
Oh.
Little Okasan. She was so welcoming and generous, as was everyone else, actually. We lived in a wonderful neighborhood. The only drawback to Mama San's home, however, was that she directly overlooked the cemetery. And that cemetery was unlike any cemetery I had seen before. It begins. Because Okinawa is an island, burials don't happen very often. Instead, above ground crypts are built, many of them built into the sides of the hills that make up the island. The crypts are large, made of huge arcs of polished stone set over a large square of that stone, which has been a square. How many times can we use the word square in a sentence? Listen. The crypts are large, made of huge arcs of polished stone set over a large... stone set over a large square of that stone, which has a square inserted into the middle of it for the coffin to be placed inside. Once inside, the square is set with another piece of polished stone just inside, leaving a kind of shelf on the outside so offerings could be made to lost loved ones.
The square goes in the square hole.
The square goes in the square, exactly, into the stone, on the square stone. Yen, food, flowers, incense are some of the offerings given. Below Mama San's house was a valley that sloped back up into another hill opposite her home. That valley and both hills were covered with these crypts, and spider webbing up and down through the crypts were various stone step pathways that were old and badly maintained. It was quite a sight. One evening, Mama San had asked me to come visit with her alone. She had something to show me, but it was only for me as the older brother. Intrigued and
that doesn't sound
a bit
good.
proud, right? She took me to the back of the garden and sat me on a thick wooden bench that was carved with scenes of fishermen and men with swords, and told me she had a story to tell. Ooh. Mama San then disappeared for a few minutes and soon returned with a tray that held hot green tea and sweet rice cakes. Sitting next to me, she smiled and commented on the colors of the evening sky as the sun began to lower. Now, see, me personally, I would never be out there in the dark listening to a spooky story. Stranger
I would
danger.
never be out in the dark. You're
never
crazy.
be out in the dark, period. I'm in bed by 8 p.m. on a bad day. No, I wish. All right.
No, I'm in bed. In general.
I'm in bed and all the time, horizontal. I'm on TikTok.
Damn.
I'm in the bath.
I'm like, yeah. Hell no.
No. Mama San said she had seen me, my brother, and some other kids daring each other to follow a stairway down into the cemetery. You have to understand, the path from our little home area down to the cemetery consisted of hundreds of steps, many broken or cracking in and out of bushes at a steep incline. It would be dangerous for anyone, but the real test was seeing how long we would take walking through the crypts at night. Mama San wanted to explain why it was a bad idea. Many years ago, during the war, Americans were thought to be devils, monsters that would murder innocent citizens for no reason than to kill. That fear was the product of wartime propaganda used to encourage young men to military service and farmers to fight alongside them. But many didn't. Many ran. And with nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, hundreds of Japanese citizens hurled themselves off a cliffside rather than face torture at the hands of their perceived enemy. Oh my God, this is actually going to be a really creepy story, isn't it?
That is like, okay.
Oh,
Jesus.
One young woman had followed through with the sacrifice with her 2 children, but she survived the fall. Okay, that is actually my biggest fear. You know when people ask, what is your biggest fear? And people are like, Satan, Santa Claus. My biggest fear is falling off of a really big height and surviving, but being broken everywhere, slowly left to die.
Okay, I thought you were about to say like my biggest fear is like falling with my loved ones and being the only one surviving. Because that would be my biggest fear. Like if everyone else that I love is dead and I wanted to die but I survived, I would be like, why? But why?
But like,
But no, it's
imagine
the
the
bones.
pain. Or you know how people will be like, oh, I could survive torture. I couldn't. I absolutely could not. I'd confess to everything you want me to. Oh my God! You imagine you pull my fingernail out. Yes, I killed her and him, and I did it. I did it all. It was me. I started it. I promise.
Oh
It
my
was
god,
me.
yeah, fingernails scare me.
Oh, like torture.
Ooh.
My real fears: torture and like falling down and surviving, but being like hurt and nobody around to find me for days while I'm slowly like on the
Oh
ground.
yeah.
Oh my God! Sorry,
A
that got
slow
real.
death, that scares the living shit out of me.
Yeah, like let me
Ooh.
go peacefully in my sleep. Let me live a good
Yeah, or
life.
just fast.
Fast.
Let me
in my
not think
sleep.
about it.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, 1 second. She was in a coma for months, but she survived the fall. She was in a coma for months. When she did regain consciousness, she was horrified to realize she was not with her children. They had been buried somewhere in that cemetery below, in an unmarked crypt that held many others. The woman would spend days and nights searching the cemetery, crying in pain. The torment of her loss unbearable, until the day she threw herself into the ocean to hopefully be reunited with her lost family. But they say she never found her children. Her act doomed her to purgatory. She would remain tortured for eternity. The sun had disappeared. The cemetery drowned in inky blackness. The main path dotted with dim broken lights feebly illuminating small areas. Mama-san continued. She still wanders the cemetery, she said, looking for her kids. You can hear her crying. And then she pointed down. I didn't want to, but I did. I looked. In the back of the cemetery, in the darkness, there was a white figure. At first, a bright white shimmer. Oh my God, my eyes are tearing up. Moving slowly, kind of shaking. It moved from side to side, like it was moving among the crypts, and you could actually hear the crying. Softly at first, but then low moans and whimpers of pain as it got closer. I was terrified. I wanted to run, but Mama-san held my hand and whispered that she wouldn't come up here. We were too far. But that is why we shouldn't go down there after dark. She said many don't know her story and call her the White Witch, which angers her. It's best to stay away. It's best to pray for her. Mama-san said she comes out to see her often, hoping one day she will see her salvation. She will find her salvation, sorry. Needless to say, I never went down the cemetery. Not once. And I never sat back there with Mama-san again either. That was enough for me. I did, however, visit Peace Prayer Park out of respect. I cried the whole time we were there. I prayed for all the souls and for forgiveness. So many Japanese citizens spoke to us, welcoming us, telling us stories, sharing with us. I didn't feel worthy, and my love for the country and its people was overwhelming. I'll never forget my time there. I'd like to go back to see if she's still there, wandering the graves, looking for her children.
Oh, yeah, this is scary to me because
Yeah. Okay. I actually need to, can I interject for this very quickly? So I once met your cousin, okay? And I was telling your cousin, I was like, oh my God, your cousin and one of their friends. I was like, oh my God, you guys, I would love to visit Indonesia. Michi keeps telling me to visit Indonesia. And your cousin was like, hey, be careful. And then your cousin told me about like, if I go to the big cities, it's fine. But if I go to the villages,
Yeah.
I can get cursed. That they've seen people get cursed. That they've seen stuff happen.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest,
Yeah.
Michi, I don't think I'm ever gonna go to Indonesia because of your cousin. Your cousin scared
No,
me
just-
off of Indonesia forever. Your cousin and their friends scared me off of Indonesia forever. Like I believe it, and I believe that shit. I believe. So for you, this story probably hits. Tell me everything.
So here's the thing, right? In my culture, you do actually do this. So there are things called like you visit your dead relatives to pay respects,
Yeah.
right? And you
Yeah.
do this every couple of months or every couple of years. It depends on what you believe in.
Yeah.
My family does do this. We have specific garments and colors to use and to avoid because some colors are shown as like disrespectful,
Okay.
right? So sometimes you will see people dressed in white. Now, here's people like to think it's like, why white, right? There's actually a lot of significance in
Mm,
Asia
mm,
because
mm, mm.
when someone passes away, you wrap them in white gauze. And to
Ah.
honor them, you do wear like this flowy white outfit
Mm-hmm.
to kind of like show them respect, right? You also bring a lot of honor stuff, which is usually like incense
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
things you can burn,
Yeah.
basically, because the whole idea is like you burn them to heaven,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you know the whole story of like they're wearing white and they're glowing.
Mm.
Yes, it could be a ghost, but it also could be someone just trying to pay respects to their dead
Yeah.
relatives
Yeah.
by
Yeah. Yeah.
like
With like a
bringing
candle, right?
something.
Or burning
Yeah, it's
something.
like
You're
they're bringing
correct.
like they're burning something and they're wearing the proper ceremonial gown.
Yeah.
I've seen shit like that younger, like when I was growing up, because especially in smaller villages, the tradition is more like strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like in
Yeah, of
the big
course.
cities, people are just like, oh yeah, let's bury them, right?
It's like
Like
that
bury
everywhere, I
them and
think.
then
Mhm. It's a
yeah,
lot
yeah, but
more like, yeah. Go on. Sorry.
yeah, like when I grew up in like a small village. So our burial traditions are very, very specific. Like you need to go there. On the third day, you need to do something. On the fifth day, you need to do something. 10th day, you need to do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And then,
That's similar for
yeah, there's like a
Ukrainian
whole
culture
thing.
too. But go on.
Mm-hmm. And some of them, yes, you have to do them at night.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them you do it midday, which is great. But like I do have family members that grieve so hard that they would visit every morning, every night, which doesn't really make the ghost story like
Mm.
the idea of like someone's crying in the middle of the night wearing white and they're
Yeah. Yeah.
glowing and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. It does kind of make it plausible.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
would say I don't know if this is like a ghost or if it's someone grieving,
That
but I
makes
grew up
sense.
next to a cemetery too.
That's
So
funny. And then, because this person is American, for them, they're not used to that. So when they see it, especially as a kid, they think, oh my God, that's the White Witch,
mhm.
right?
Mhm. So it's like is it really or is it just someone crying like mourning the dead like a normal person? We don't know, but e- there usually people tell these stories to kids because you don't know how people act when they grieve, right? Especially like
Yeah.
grieving mothers who lost their children, they see a child. You don't know how they would be. Like sometimes they're just grieving.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're not like that sane of mind, so
Mm-hmm.
you don't want your kids to be in trouble
Mm-hmm.
or like get in trouble by accident. That's why stories like that are
Yeah.
told.
Or just to keep the
But
kids away from that space. Like, especially if it's all the way
yeah.
down, it could be dangerous. There could be a lot of, yeah,
Yeah.
just keep them away from there. Well, don't go there. Stay here where we can see
You want to
you.
know like something
Yes.
real quick that happened me growing up? There was
Mm-hmm.
a time where there were kids who played in the cemetery, right? And they would eat the because like sometimes people do give the sacrifices or like to honor the dead and they
Yeah.
would burn them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they wouldn't. So you would just see like buckets of food placed
Oh, would the kids eat
onto
them and
like
stuff?
yes, and that
It's
is
super
really really
disrespectful.
bad.
Yeah. So
It's
that's why you have the
yeah.
scary stories to get the kids away from the cemeteries, or they'd steal the candy, the food. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And also, like growing up now, I realize it's also dangerous because like you don't know how long that food's been there. Like
Agreed.
it could have been
Agreed.
rotten,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it could have been like there's viruses in there, who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But in our culture, if you accidentally like if not accidentally, if you steal food, you eat like food from like the dead and stuff before the
Mm-hmm.
time because there is a culture you are supposed to eat it, but there's like specific timings for it depending on what you believe. You can be really cursed. That's one of the ways like you will have not just you by the way,
Your whole
you
family.
and like
Mm-hmm.
generations down will be cursed from that. So
Scary.
yeah, I'm very like a bit about it. Some people would actually take those and resell them, which is even crazier to me. So
That's bad on so many
yeah,
levels. Oh my God.
yeah, there's one of those.
Question. If somebody passes away, would you cover the windows in a house that they lived in? Not the windows, the mirrors. Or is that not something you guys would do?
Oh, I think we do cover. I think that's like a belief somewhere, but not in my culture. No,
Mm-mm-mm.
but I've seen someone do that.
Yeah,
Something
because
you
for
do.
us, yeah, there is the belief that if like a person lived in that house, like let's say it's like your grandpa's house, right? You would cover the mirrors because allegedly for the 40 days, again, this is, you believe it or you don't, but for us, right? Like, even if I believe it or I don't, it's just something that your parents did and you just, you follow the tradition. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, it would be said that for 40 days, apparently the soul would still kind of be lingering around Earth. And that's why, like, so
Ah.
that's why maybe if your grandpa lived in that house and he just passed away, for the 40 days after he passed away, you might be able to, like, see, like, he might accidentally haunt you, or you might catch him somewhere, or, because he's still kind of like
Mm.
lingering Earth and he's kind of saying goodbye to everybody. But this is why you would block out the mirrors, because sometimes it would say that, first of all, you could spot him in there and that's kind of spooky. But second of all, he could catch his reflection and stay around and then haunt you.
Ah.
So you have to be like, sorry, Grandpa, you can't haunt me. Closing the mirrors, closing that kind of stuff.
I see.
Mhm.
I think, I don't know if I told you this. In one of our belief is when someone passes away, you wrap them like in a white gauze, in a muslin
Mhm.
fabric, right?
Interesting.
And after a period of time, you're supposed to dig them out and unwrap them.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, that's also where some of our ghost stories come from, because some, especially during the war, people pass away, they wrap
Yeah.
them in the gauze, right? But then because the family members pass away too, or maybe they forgot, they didn't like unwrap them. So now the souls come back to like find their relatives to unwrap them. And that's where like we have a ghost called the pocong that is just like,
Potong.
it's like a mummy, right? It
Mhm.
looks like a mummy without the hands. Like it's like a mummy that looks like a bowling pin, basically.
Oh my God, I
but
just
that's
looked it up.
how it
and
looks
the
like.
first one actually scared me. Oh,
Yeah,
even
that's
though
how they
there's
look like.
Okay, okay, okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah, because like you're supposed to unwrap them, right? But because you never do, they're like, now I'm bounded to this world forever. Unwrap me, you know? But yeah, that's where some of
Oh.
our ghost stories also come from. So there's like
That.
traditions that you need to follow.
Mm-hmm.
It's so scary.
Oh my God,
I
that
don't
is
like
so
Asian horror
scary.
stories.
Honestly, that could be a whole thing in itself. Like I said, we're not going to go into detail now, but there was this one I specifically remember. We were in Japan with your cousin and their friend, and it was like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us, but I just remember having like I think a 3-hour conversation, and I've never come. But then another part of me, I want to visit you so bad in Indonesia, and I want to see everything. I want to eat food. I want to hike. I want to get food
Hike.
poisoning in Bali. I want to get diarrhea in
Oh.
Bali, like all the influencers.
No, trust. Like if it's like big cities, it's fine, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
especially
yeah.
me, if you visit me, you're fine. Because when I move into like different places, we have an honoring rite kind of a thing to like cleanse the house and stuff.
Mm.
So I like to think where I live is like pretty clean. Like nothing is following me in, nothing's following me out. Like we're fine.
But
But my
I
cousin,
heard
now that's a
some
different level.
crazy, crazy stories. Like I said, I'm a fearing woman. I fear what I do not know. I fear.
No, that's the difference. My cousin is very like, he's a little bit stupid, right? I love him, but he's a little bit stupid. So he doesn't really like follow rituals to the T. I do. I see that list. I follow it like exactly.
So
I
you're
don't
saying
care. I
he
have to
might
wake
be
up
a
at
little
3
bit
a.m.
haunted.
He might be.
He
Like
might be
I
a little bit
remember
haunted. I
visiting him
get
and
it.
I'm like, why do you have this here? Why do you do this? Like that's bad luck. That's like bad omen. He's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And I'm like, but you told me that you believe in ghosts, but you don't act like a ghost fearing man. What is going on? I am very like, things are supposed to be here. Things are not supposed to be touched. Things are supposed to be like blessed and cleansed beforehand. And I believe that shit. Like, I don't care if it's like one of those things. If you don't believe them, you lose nothing by doing them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, do I really believe in the like the Luigi board? Not really, but I'm not gonna fuck around and find out. I'm good.
Exactly. Like you lose nothing by doing these things, but you can potentially lose something if you don't do it. So just
Yep.
do it. It's like a win-win in my opinion. So my cousin's a little bit cuckoo for that. Me, I follow everything. Everything is cleansed. Everything is proper. I'm not risking it, bro.
Nope. All right. Would you risk it for another story though?
Ooh, okay. There's one story that I want to read called "Red Like Spaghetti." I think it should be funny.
All
Like
right.
the title is "Red Like Spaghetti."
Hit me. I'm listening.
Okay. I'll try to say it in a scary way because I think it shouldn't be that scary. Okay. So the stairs to my attic had smelt like burnt hair for 3 days. Extremely odd because it was just the area and I have a very old, drafty house. On day 4, I came home from work just before midnight, and as soon as I walked through the door, I felt like I had someone standing over my shoulder, breathing down my neck. The feeling was so
Mm.
strong that I opened my medicine cabinet so the mirror was against the wall. I also showered with the shower curtain open because I had a powerful need to see the room. After a shower, I was a little less on edge until I walked past my 4-year-old's daughter's room. The door was closed, but I heard her talking in her sleep. Then I heard a loud crash. I
Ugh.
slowly opened the door to find her sleeping on top of the covers, and the pile of stuffed animals she insisted on sleeping with scattered across the room. I turned the light on low, looked around the room, and checked her breathing. All seemed well, so I went to bed. The next morning, I asked her if she had a bad dream. She said, yeah, there was a man with no arms and sauce on his face,
What?
and he kept laughing at me. I told him to go away, but he wouldn't. Then an arm came out of the wall, threw me into the ceiling, and I crashed back down on my bed and went back to sleep. Me,
Hmm.
sauce on his face? She replied, yeah, red like spaghetti. That's the end of the story.
Okay, okay. I will
Interesting
say,
ending.
because it is a child, there is the possibility that, like, example, she saw a trailer for a scary movie on TV or on a bus or
Mm.
somewhere, and maybe she then because do you get that where sometimes when I play a
Mm.
game too much on stream, I dream about that game in my sleep. So my
Yes,
dream,
I do.
I think, like in my dreams, I stream playing Crusader Kings 3, and it feels real. You know?
I get that. I get that. I also don't believe anything a kid says though, just because I think it's
Yeah.
like active imagination. Also, you lying.
Mm.
Also, you probably don't know what you see, so you just make
You're
shit up, right?
lying.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you lying, you know. But oof, I don't know. I also have heard some because like I used to volunteer in like an orphanage, right?
Oh, I didn't know that about
So
you.
I used to volunteer in orphanage back then for
Mhm.
like a good amount of time. So I have heard some crazy shit come out from like what the fuck?
Children?
Like kids would see something and like yeah, like they would tell me shit and I have to sit there and I have to be like, "Oh my god. Ha 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 ha." They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I saw my mother." And I'm like, "Oh, in your dreams?" And they're like, "No, like I saw her in the hallway. I'm so happy." And like their mom passed away.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't tell them that, right? Because like now
Yeah.
you're in a checkmate. Because you're like, I can't
Mhm.
tell you that your mother passed away, but like I also
Mm.
don't know what you're talking about. So yeah,
I
there are
do
times like
wonder.
that.
Mhm. I will say, like, the one arm and the spaghetti does make me feel like she probably saw something in a scary movie and then the arm came out.
Yeah,
All right, we
yeah,
got time
probably.
for two more quick stories. We actually have what else about 35. We actually had five whole stories picked out, but um
Oh,
sorry, we had eight stories total picked out, but I think we might only have time for two more. Let's go. Let's
we're
get it. I know we laughed so much on the first story, I think. But it
like, yeah,
happens.
okay.
My turn. Scary stories went back for pancakes. I'm doing this one.
I
I'm
like that
doing this
name.
one.
It doesn't sound scary. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Let me have a big glub of water.
Ooh,
My
please don't be
house.
an Asian story, bro.
Sorry if I keep picking them. My house was built in 1904. It's a single family home, wood frame setting on a concrete block foundation. I've been living here for about 12 years. Of all the weird things that my siblings and me have seen or heard in this house, this one event is my favorite. This happened to my brother. About 10 years ago, my brother and his best friends had started a garage band playing mostly Spanish rock, alternative music, but in
Ooh.
Spanish. Okay, I don't think it's in Asia, just to be clear.
Okay,
This
thank
is,
God.
his friends could only get
Ooh.
together on Sunday afternoons. They would practice into the early evening. They would usually call it quits by 8 p.m. This was the time I usually showed up and went to bed because I worked the graveyard shift. This happened in late fall, so the days were getting shorter. They had just finished a long session when the decision to head to someone else's house came about. My brother handed his car keys to his buddy so they could load up the equipment. Everyone had filed out of the basement. The tricky part was they needed to walk all the way to the back of the basement. Up the back stairs, through the kitchen doorway, down the hall, into the living room, and out into the front porch. Everyone was
Ooh.
outside sitting in my brother's truck waiting for him. My brother was walking up the back stairs when he remembered that he had left his pancakes in a to-go container sitting on a speaker in the basement. Yummy. He made the decision to go back. Now, the basement is not clean. With full sight lines, there had been partitions made, and the boiler and main heating unit are right smack in the middle. So after my brother walks back, he's about to retrieve his food container when out of the corner of his eye, he sees it.
Santa. No,
I got Santa.
More Santa.
My brother started to walk to the back of the basement.
You missed the whole
Oh,
you missed
wow.
the paragraph that described
Thank
it.
you so much.
It's like he sees it, ignores what it is.
Listen, in my defense, I am on very few hours of sleep. I am work mode, and we are building a whole city, Michi. We captured evil Momo, okay? It has been a week and some. Okay.
No way.
No way. It is a shadowy figure right at his peripheral vision. This feeling of dread and uneasiness washed over my brother. We had been taught that if you're in the presence of a spirit of ghosts and you felt a bad vibe, to say a quick prayer or to cuss at it. My brother chose the latter. He basically just told it, hey, fuck you. I don't have time for this shit. My brother started to walk to the back of the basement and briskly up the stairs, closing doors and turning off lights as he was walking out. The last light switch is on the opposite side of the front door. Luckily, the door was open and the light from the street lamp was flooding the living room with its amber light. My brother said he felt something at his back, but at no point did he turn around. As he flickered the last switch, the living room went dark as the rest of the house. As he stepped out, he pulled on the door, closing it behind him. Still holding his food container in one hand, he jogged down the few porch steps. He walked towards the front gate. Our house resides far from the main street, essentially having a large front yard but no rear garage. As he closed the gap between himself and his friend Latin truck, he kind of smiled and thought things over in his head, mad at himself for spooking out when there was no reason. He climbed into the driver's side of the truck, putting on his seatbelt and getting ready to pull out of the parking spot directly in front of the house when one of his friends asked, "Hey, what about your brother? Isn't he coming with us?" My brother answered, "What do you mean? He went to work early tonight. He's already gone. Do you see his car anywhere?" The next question they asked, "So then, who was walking behind you when you were leaving the house?"
Oh, I don't like the story
Okay.
anymore.
The whole point of the story, I was like, oh, this story is easily debunkable, right? Like, oh, he just saw a shadowy figure. Oh, it was something else. Maybe it was his mom. No, the walking behind him.
Ooh,
Oh,
I don't like that.
I don't like
don't
that.
like that at
I
all.
don't like that at all.
It reminds
like
me
that.
of like a story that my roomie had too. That is so similar to this.
Really? Tell me.
Yes. So basically, when my roommate was younger and she was living with her family, right? They lived in like it's like a stacked house. It's not an apartment. It's basically like, it's technically an apartment, but they're technically like big building rooms, but they're for families. So they're like,
Okay.
it has its own like, yeah. So she lived in the bottom part. And here in Indo, if you want to pay for electricity, you go to the electricity booth and top it up, right?
I like that.
So, like, especially at that time. So, my roommate's mother left in the middle of the night because the electricity went down. Like, they had no electricity and they forgot to top it up. And low-key, that was my fault because when I came to visit, she reminded us to be like, don't forget to pay for the electricity. And we forgot. So, she had to
Relatable.
go in the middle of the night, right?
Mhm.
When she came back, the whole time, like the moment she entered the house, everyone, like in the living room, it was my roommate, her dad, and then her younger sister. They were looking at her mom and was like, "Who the fuck is that?" And she did not turn around. Like she did not turn around because like it was really weird in my roommate's perspective because her mom like opened the door and instantly they were like looking at her weird. And it's like, "Who did you bring? Like who is that?" So then she like her mother like stood still, walked backwards, and in front of the place, right, there was like a big plot where you can park your cars and there's like the hose to wash your cars. she had to hose herself down and walked back inside, like dripping wet.
Why
My
the
roomie's
hose
like,
down?
oh shit.
From like evil
So
spirits
here
or
we
what?
believe,
Mhm.
yeah, like as you're hosing yourself down, you say a prayer to like get rid of the evil spirit. So from like her mother's perspective, when she went to like top up the electricity, which is like you have to go through a small like alleyway, and like they did live near. We have cemeteries everywhere.
Yeah.
So she was
A
like, shit,
spirit
I think I
probably
brought
got
back
picked
a
up.
spirit. Yeah, she's like, I think I brought back a spirit. But the fact that, like, from my roomie's perspective, they saw like a genuine man,
Like
like
they
a tall,
genuinely
like a
saw
man,
somebody behind her.
a person, like not like a shadowy figure, a person. Like she could describe the person to me, and I was like, you shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't bring that evil to me right now. But
Yep,
she was like,
yep,
no,
yep,
like
yep,
you don't
yep,
get it. Like you would think like ghost stories are like, oh, a shadowy figure. I can't make up. No, like she could make up everything. What he wore, how he looked, like his hair, everything. It was like a full dude. They actually thought she brought back like a maintenance guy.
Yeah. To like fix something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit, okay, don't tell me that. But my roommate was like, I actually saw it, bro. I saw it. And I was like, ooh.
Okay, I want to ask though. I want to ask you, and I want to also ask the audience. Please let us know in the comments if you actually know this. But why is it when you hear a lot of these stories, right? Usually there's this idea of not acknowledging the ghost or ignoring them or anything like that, or on the opposite, like in this story, it was like you have to cuss at it. Or why, for example, if you know that something's behind you, you don't turn around. Why? I wonder. Do you have any
in my
idea?
belief, so in our culture, if you acknowledge them, they will latch onto you and they can't get out. Like they will always latch onto you. We have this thing where it's like, when you suddenly wake up and you have like a random weight on one of your legs, or suddenly your shoulders feel really heavy, that's a ghost latching onto you. So you have to get it cleansed away from you. Like people say you can feel it tugging on your body, but if you acknowledge them, like you acknowledge that they are there and you can see them, they won't leave you alone.
That
So you
reminds
try
me
not to
of
acknowledge
an
them.
anime that I really like called X. It's called Holic, but it's spelled XXX Holic. And that's kind of what happens to Watanuki, where because the ghosts know that he can see them, they just all latch onto him because they're like, oh my God, you can see me. You can talk to me. Hi.
Yeah. We also have a belief that if you talk about them, they will try and like find you. So that's why I hate talking about horror stories, but I do it every now and then. I get myself cleansed, but like
I thought you were into this. That's why I set up this whole episode. I thought you liked this shit. I did it for you.
I get myself cleansed anyway because, oh my God, I need to tell you this. I don't know if like you heard the clips or something. Something really scary happened during the Thailand trip.
Oh my God. Okay, tell me. Very quickly though, after we're done recording, you and I both jump in the shower, okay? And just
We need to get cleansed.
Cleansed.
We need to get cleansed.
Separately, you perverts. But yes, tell me. Okay, I have not yet
You
reacted.
say that like we haven't been in the bath together.
It's true. It's true. So I need to know. Do you think I should react to your guys' Thailand stories? I don't know anything except I saw a clip of like your mom thought Shoto and you would make a good couple. That's
my
the
mom
only
is
one.
smitten with Shoto.
Your
you
mom is
should if
smitten
you
with
want
every-
to. It's long. The
Tell
saga
me the story,
is long.
though. Tell me the story.
Okay. This actually
listening.
happened in Thailand. I said it too, and not just me, by the way. Shoto also felt something similar, and after, I'll tell you this in like
wait.
chronological order.
You told me a little bit of this story. I know a little part of the
Okay.
story that a little bit of a spoiler for anybody listening, that you thought there was a ghost. Yeah. You told me a little bit of the story.
No, girl.
No?
Okay.
More?
So
Okay, tell me more.
during
Tell me
this
more.
time, right? We just went out, and I had makeup on, like full face makeup, and I was about to take a shower. So during this time, I wear like light makeup, but this time it's because like there's Numi's roommates, blah, blah. So like a bunch of people that I didn't know were there, and I don't want them to see me.
What about me?
It's because I'm comfortable with you. Like
Don't
I'm
be
comfortable
comfortable.
showing how I look like
No,
with
I
you.
know. I'm kidding. Go on. I love
Like
you,
I
Pookie. Go
don't
on.
want to look like this, you know. So
Mhm.
it's context. We just went out with like everyone else. I had makeup on, and Numi and her roommates went back to our room and was chilling there. And I was sitting there, and I was like, I really want to remove my makeup. I want to take a shower, but basically, everyone was there, right? And here's one thing about our room: it's one of those like bedroom, and then there's like the bathroom is next to the bed, but there's a big window where you can see inside the bathroom, and you cover it with a curtain.
Hate those. I hate those. I do not. I know it's a kink for some people. I don't want to see people. Go on.
I mean, I love when I see my lover take a shit, but like, yeah, we have those, right? But you can cover with a curtain.
lover?
But you know, like the curtain, there's like
What in your
like the sides of it
imagination?
has a hole. You know, like what if, right? Like what if you can see inside the bathroom even with the curtains closed, right? So
Oh my
I
God,
was
is your
like,
sorry, imagine your ghost story is like, guys, somebody was shitting. And they're like, but none of us pooped today. And you're like, oh,
dun,
it's the
dun,
scary
dun.
pooper.
It's a scary poop man.
Yeah.
So context, because of that, I did not want to shower because there's like no joke, 10 people on the bed, like in the bed area. So like I'm not showering with 10 people there that could accidentally see me naked, right? So I waited, and this whole time Shoto was like, Michi, you should take a shower. Because I told him, I was like, I wanted a shower beforehand. And he's like, you should take a shower. I was like, I
It's
can't,
just-
but I don't want to be like,
It's
because
just
other people are
him
here.
letting you know that you stink. He's like, oh,
Yeah, he was like,
crazy if you showered right now. Oh my God, you know what you should do?
'cause, like,
Shower.
oh my God, this dude, he was like, Michi, didn't you say you wanted a shower? Why don't you shower? You know what I mean? And I was like,
you stink.
I was like, brother, there's like 10 people. If I go like, I can't shower because there's 10 people in the room, I feel bad because then what if they think I'm kicking them out, right? So I had to like literally type on my notepad being like, 10 people are here. I can't shower with 10 people. So fast forward, they all
I'm
left.
gonna
Like
start the
Numi and her
rumor that you
roommates
smelled
left.
bad.
Yeah, like Numi and her roommates left. Yuzu went into her room to go to bed. So in that room, it was just me, Shoto, and Yusan. And after they left, I told them, I was like, bro, I couldn't shower because there's so many people in the room. I didn't want them to feel like I'm kicking them out or anything.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you can't. It is important to the story. Shoto and Yusan were like making fun, not making fun, but like teasing me about it. Like, oh, you can't shower with people in the room. You're scared that someone's gonna look in. You're scared someone's gonna barge in. And I'm like, yeah,
Frick
right?
you guys.
So,
both of you. Yeah.
yeah, they were
I
like,
know.
oh, you're scared of that? And I'm like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So eventually I went to the toilet, right? Now here's the context. I went to the shower and I played my shower playlist, which was like 19,000, like, old music that are like
1920, like
Pretty
jazz.
Little Baby.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Mhm.
those kind of songs. Because I do like those songs. It does make me very peace. So I was listening to like 1900 music. And when if you have makeup, those like remover balms?
Yeah.
So I brought my remover balm into the shower with me. I played my songs and I took a shower. So when I had my remover balm, how you do it is you put it on your face and you leave it there for like a minute or two
Yeah. You let
for it to like settle in. Yeah, to like break apart your makeup and then you wash it off, right? So as I was showering, music was playing. I had my remover balm on my face, like over my eyes too, because I had eye makeup. So eyes are closed, remover balm, and I'm like just trying to like wash my body as I'm doing it, like basically relaxing,
You're
right?
having a good moment in the
And
shower. Yeah.
then,
Oh no.
yeah, and then I heard like a click, like that, like a click, like that. Now at this point, the song is important because you know how old songs have like those crackly background music or like sound effects and shit.
Yeah.
So it genuinely could have been the song, right? And at that time I was like, you know what? I didn't think much of it because it genuinely could have just been my song.
Yeah.
And now here's the creepy part. I genuinely felt because like the water was hitting my body from like I was like facing towards the shower, right? But I felt something like touch my shoulder.
Oh.
And now instantly, the first thing I thought about was like, this is either Yusan or Shoto trolling me because they were making fun of me
Yeah. Of
beforehand.
course.
They were
That's what
like,
I would think.
oh, you can't. Yeah, it's like you
But
can't
I'd still
shower
feel kind of
alone.
awkward because
Ooh.
I'd be like, oh my God, wait, did my friends like walk in the shower on me? What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, like the first thing I thought about is like, holy shit. One of them are actually taking this
Yeah.
troll to
Yeah,
a
too
fucked
far.
up level because like I'm butt naked, right? Like I'm butt naked in the shower and they're trying to troll me. And in my head, I'm like, why the fuck would they go this far?
Yeah.
So here's my logical, like my brain, how I thought. It can't be Shoto. Even though Shoto was making fun of me the most,
Yeah.
it can't be Shoto because Shoto knows that like, he's a dude. I'm a girl. I'm butt naked. If he did this as a joke, this is not funny.
No,
right?
no. And this crosses
So
like
I was
every
like-
boundary. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, it can't be Yusan either. But I did know Yusan longer than I know Shoto. So I was like, if this is one of them, it has to be Yusan.
Yeah.
Because Yuzu's
I could
asleep.
actually see Yusan like completely close their eyes and just kind of like tap you as a prank. I could, yeah. Maybe. But even
Well,
that I wouldn't
can't.
I
Like,
wouldn't
honestly,
do it.
I can't
Can't
either.
imagine.
Right? So I
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck, yo? Like, I know making fun of me before I went to the shower was funny, but this is taking it too far. So I said out loud, I was like, Yusan? Like, I said that out loud, right? So I opened my eyes as I said it, and I saw like a figure standing in front of me. Like, but here's the thing, I had balm over my eyes.
And
So
it was like removing
you
your
know?
makeup. So it was like, yeah. It's like, you know when
Yeah,
you open
but
your eyes
I-
and you see like orbs of light? It's like, God, no, that's just your eyes adjusting to the light.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, but like I actually saw a shoulder. Like I saw the complete torso of a person. But I'm trying to copium. I'm trying to be like, oh, that's just my makeup bulb, right? But like I actually did see a torso. So I got really fucking scared. And then I quickly like washed it up. I'm trying to go like as fast as possible.
Yeah.
You can ask anyone there. Shoto and Yusan was chilling and they heard me yell out like Yusan like that, like out loud because
Yeah.
I genuinely thought it was Yusan. When
Oh
I
my
left,
God.
Yusan was like, "You called me?" And I was like, "I did," but I was too scared to tell them what happened because, like, in our belief, right? If you talk about it, they will latch
Then
onto you.
it's- Yeah.
So I was like,
yeah.
I was like, "Don't worry about it." And Yusan's like, "Why? Why did you call me?" I was like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about it." Right? And then the day after, Shoto decided to say something. It was like, "Guys, I had like a weird experience in the shower." And that's when I told them, I was like, okay, remember yesterday when I yelled at Yusan?
Oh, no. Ooh.
Yeah. So I told them as well, right? Like I ended up telling them, I was like, yeah, I remember that yesterday when I yelled out Yusan and I thought it was Yusan. This is why I thought it was
also
Yusan.
how they feel where you're showering and then randomly you're like, Yusan? They're like, okay, girl. Why are you thinking about
thank
Yusan
God
in
I
the
didn't
shower?
say it that
What's
way.
going
I'm like, oh
on?
my God. Like, thank God I didn't do it. I was actually a bit upset at Yusan during that
of
moment because I genuinely thought it's like, it couldn't be Shoto. If it was
Yeah,
Shoto,
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
be even more, like, more bitterly
course,
upset.
of course.
Yusan, I would still be upset, but like, less so, but still upset. So I was like, actually, I thought it was them throwing a prank. And now here's the scary part. After we left Thailand, I was talking to Yusan about it on Discord, right? I was like, yeah, because Yusan was assuring us the whole time. It's like, no, nothing's here. Like, I'm pretty sensitive with spiritual things. Nothing's here. Y'all are crazy. You're just tired, right? And I was like, okay. After I left, I messaged Yusan and I talked about it. And Yusan's like, I didn't want to tell you this when we were all there because I didn't want to freak you out. But yeah, it's like, I felt a bit guilty because apparently before Yusan stayed with us, because they stayed for like longer, right? They just like lived somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they were like, before we decided to like stay together, me and some of like my friends went to like this temple area and we went to an area of the temple by accident where you're not supposed to go. So I
Yusan
think
is
I
haunted.
accidentally brought something with me.
Yusan-
And I was like, you
motherfucker.
I
You
was like,
haunted
why did
piece
you
of shit.
fucking tell us?
I love
knew
you,
it was
Yusan, if
Yusan,
you're
bro.
listening, but you haunted little piece of jerk. What the hell? You did
Yeah,
this.
and Yusan was staying in my room. Like,
did
why
this,
couldn't
Yusan.
Yusan stay in Shoto's room? Go
Yusan,
bring that
you
evil somewhere
did
else.
this. But then, why? Okay, another thing why it's so weird is like, this story becomes more believable because both you and Shoto felt something in the shower. And they're different showers in like different. So it's like, because you know, usually that's another thing about ghosts that makes it like more believable. Is if it's like, oh, they were watching, like somebody was watching TV, but nobody's home. Yeah, somebody was. It's not like they're doing different things. It's always the same thing. And in your guys' case, the ghost is doing the same thing.
And I like, the scariest part is like, when I did yell out Yusan, it wasn't like I'm trying to be like, oh, let me scare them. No, like the fact that they all heard and felt what the fuck transpired. And like even Yuzu was like, oh yeah, Shoto said like, Shoto thought it was me. Because like Shoto and Yuzu shared the same room, right? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna fess up right now because I can't handle this shit. After that night, by the way, that's where like now there's like a story. I was like, Michi's a wet, soppy cat. I
That's
swear I'm not
why-
usually like
Okay,
that.
girl.
Okay, I was so fucking scared. I was
If
like,
I feel
I was-
something in the shower after we record this, I'm gonna be so mad. Oh my God, Michi, I'm
So
scared.
that's why I
I'm
was
scared.
like, Yusan, can you sleep in the same bed as me? Because Numi was supposed to be on that bed, but like Numi wasn't. We're not gonna go into that whole drama. But like, I told Yusan, because Yusan had their own bed, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
Yusan, can you just like sleep in my bed?
Yeah,
Like,
please sleep in my
I
bed,
don't
of
usually
course.
ask this of people, but I'm like, please, son. Like, I was like, please, Yusan, stay in my bed. And Yusan's like, why? And I was like, just if you're comfortable, would you? And Yusan's like, yeah, sure. And that's where the whole like, oh, Michi can't be alone. No shit, I can't be alone. I just saw a human torso in the shower. I'm fucking scared. And like, my bed was right next to the bathroom. So like, I'm scared as shit, bro. I'm not sleeping alone. You're crazy.
Girl, I'm scared to take my shower now.
But yeah, that was like,
It's
it's scarier because
1
like,
a.m.
I like to tell myself it's the makeup balm, right? But like, no,
Yeah.
girl, I saw that shit. I saw the torso. I saw it. But it's the makeup balm. It's the makeup balm. Don't worry about
What
it.
prayer should I say in the shower? Is it just like, I am cleansed, I am free, God, I love you? Like, talk to me.
Rain,
What's
rain, go away.
yeah, come to back another day. Oh my God. Oh, I'm actually
Oh.
getting spooked now as we're talking about it. Ooh.
I'm telling. That's why, like, at first, I wasn't too scared about it because I was like, okay, maybe it is makeup balm and exhaustion, right?
Yeah.
But after the trip, Yusun's like, yeah, I think I brought something with me, and I was like, okay, well, fuck you too. I knew I wasn't crazy.
Oh my God.
Ah.
That,
So yeah, it's Yusun's fault.
yeah. Yusan, if you're listening, that's so scary. Oh my, again, it's even scarier that like Shoto also had like such a similar experience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm.
oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I'm getting spooked.
I
I'm
actually
actually
felt
getting
guilty
spooked.
that I was like upset, like because I actually during that shower time when I felt like the touch on my shoulder, I didn't open my eyes instantly, right? Because I genuinely thought it was either Shoto or Yusan. So for like those couple of seconds, I was literally in my head. I was like, "Fuck you!" Like I was so pissed at them because I was like, "This is not fucking funny." Like I'm naked, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking, I'm never gonna talk to you ever again."
Girl, I'm actually getting spooked. I'm actually getting spooked. I'm so sorry. I'm actually getting spooked. Oh my God. I need a minute.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking
And
around
that
my
happened
room and I'm
recently.
like, oh my God. I'm looking around my office and I'm, oh my God. And it's fine. My roommates are upstairs. They're asleep. I need to do
It's
more work
fine.
after this episode, but I might just try and go upstairs and nap on the couch in the living room and then like do my work at like 4 a.m. I'm too gosh dang spooked.
It's okay. The ghosts are not gonna travel from Thailand. That's crazy business.
But I'm definitely gonna take like a really quick rinse after this. Oh, thank you for sharing
Me
that.
too.
That is so spooky. Oh my God. I'm gonna think about you telepathically in the shower, okay, my love?
Wow.
Mm-hmm,
I like that.
Before you
like that.
read our final story for today, I know it's been kind of a shorter episode, only 6 stories. Usually we do about 8, but we had some long ones and we had a lot of yapping. I want to know from everybody listening, do you have a scary story to share with us? Share it in the comments or maybe
Ooh.
submit it to Trashlight Confidential. We are accepting your stories to be read on a future episode, or you can leave it in the comments. I'm going to be
Woo!
honest, probably won't be reading the comments of this episode as much if I know that there's going to be a lot of scary stories. But we'll see.
No, you got to.
No. Like I'm genuinely really spooked now. Like that story. Oh my God. Ooh, baga.
Yeah. Oh my god. You know who else you should do scary story readings with?
Who?
Kamimi.
Oh.
Kamimi has genuinely. I'll tell you this like real quick. Kamimi one time she woke up and she was like, "Michi, you want to see something weird?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she sent me a picture of her side boob, which would have been kind of cool, right?
So funny.
But like, oh, side boob.
Oh,
But there were
scary.
like claw marks. There were claw marks on her side boob. Like no joke. They look like, you know, if a razor
Satan.
were to like
Yeah.
scratch, but they're multiple. It looks like a claw, like
Did she
scratch from
okay,
like her.
I'd like to think as a woman, she probably scratched her titty in the middle of the night.
No,
Does she have
that's
short
why you
nails?
should talk to Kamimi about this. She has short nails. Like she bites her nails, I think. So it's like she has short nails.
I don't
And
want to
not
talk
only
to
that-
Kamimi about this.
Not only that, she has the picture. If you see the picture, it does not look like nails. It literally looked like razors. Even I was like, girl, like, yeah.
Okay,
I was like,
Kamimi-
you can't have cut yourself.
Get some holy water,
Scary.
girl. Get the
It was
blood.
so fucking
Drink
freaky.
some red wine. The blood of Christ, please. You need that.
And you know what's worse? She decided, like, when she told me this when she woke up, right? Which means it was me before I have to go to fucking bed, like late at night.
Because
And
of the
I was
time
like,
zone difference.
motherfucker. Yeah, I was like, fuck you. I was like, fuck you, honestly. It's like late
That's
at night for me. It's
really
like 1
funny.
a.m. You decide to tell me this? Okay. Okay.
That's
You should
actually
talk-
really,
you should
really
talk
funny.
about this to
No,
Kabibi.
no. I'm good. I'm
I
okay.
recommend it.
Michi, read your
Okay,
final
for our
story so I
last
can
story-
shower. I'm scared.
Which story do you want me to read? You can pick that one.
I think you should read Handprints.
Okay. Oh, the name is scary. I purposely chose the stories, the titles that are not too scary.
Well, I think
Handprints.
my grandfather's cremation isn't too much better, and Smiling Man sounds terrifying.
That is true. That is fucking
So,
true.
You decide
Oh
from now
my
on,
God.
you know?
Okay. Handprints. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Final story.
Born ready.
I'll try to say in a scary way. Because I feel like we didn't spook anyone because we're spooked.
We're spooked
So
and
I'll
we're
try to
trying to
read in a
not be
scary
spooked
way.
ourselves. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. A friend and a few of his college buddies were going on a similar ghost hunt themselves and had heard about some graveyard where children murdered by their mother had been buried. Okay, great start.
Great start.
The graveyard was located off the main road. So my friend parked his car on the side of the road, and the group, 5 to 7 people I believe, got out and followed the small path through the woods for a couple minutes to get to the graveyard. Once there, nothing exciting happened for the first 10 minutes or so, and they had tried everything. The website or whatever they heard the story told them to do, with nothing resulting.
Mhm.
They got bored, and being typical, inebriated college kids started taunting the supposed ghost of the mother. This
awful.
continued for a few minutes before before they're tired and decided to go back to the car as one of the girls had to go to the bathroom. Once they got back to the car, my friend, the sober driver, tried opening the handle without unlocking the car because he hadn't locked it in the first place, but found that it was locked. He attributed this to bad memory at the time. The group drove home, laughing and talking like normal. After he had dropped all of the kids off at their homes, he went back to his own house. He got in at the same time as one of his roommates, who stopped and waited for him to pull in.
Mhm.
The roommate had his phone out and shined the light in the window when his friend pulled in as a joke. What he saw was a tiny, baby-sized handprint all over the windows. As soon as my friend got out, he went into the house without saying a word to his roommate. The roommate, confused, went back to the car and tried to rub one of the handprints. They were inside of the window. To this day, my friend will not speak of this drive home after he dropped off his other friends and has since sold the car without even driving it again.
Yeah, I would sell the car. I would burn the
Oh.
car. I would abandon the car in a forest. Tiny
Goddamn.
baby handprints. Oh, you're right. This story, maybe you should not have read this story.
I didn't like this one.
This one did
You
not
know,
spark
and
joy.
You know another thing that scared the living shit out of me
In Thailand
when
or
I
in
was
general?
younger? No,
Talk to me.
this is like a story I had.
Mhm.
Basically, I was hanging out with like my big family. You know that my big family practices black magic, right?
Yes, you have spoken about that.
Yeah. So this is weird. I like to think that maybe this is like a coincidence, but you know that my family member is like bad gacha luck. Like our health pool is like the worst gacha luck in the world.
Yeah.
Any kind of disease you can mention, we have. Okay. So it's like, I don't know why my parents decide it's a good idea to fucking have me because now I have them too. But they're like shocked. They're like, "What? You have this illness?" It's like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you
Everyone
have it.
does.
Of course. Like it's in the
So it's like-
bloodline. I'm not adopted, you
Yeah, it's like-
guys. Duh.
Being completely healthy is like SS gacha luck in
It's
my
like
family.
it's like my mom being
So-
surprised I look like my father. What did you think was gonna happen? What did you
Yeah.
think I was gonna look like? The neighbor? Come on.
I remember one time I met my like extended family. This is like my grandpa that does do black magic. He was also the same grandpa that tried to get me into
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But we stopped the ritual halfway, which until today I think was a bad decision. But
Because
I
now
will
you're like
pretend like I
half
don't think
in,
about it.
half out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like the ritual was like I was supposed to be in a locked room, like meditating and like chanting something for like 3 days straight,
No
or like
water, no
5 days straight. I
anything?
kind of
Or
forgot.
what?
Only eating water with a bowl of rice with a rose petal on top of it.
Ooh.
That was the ritual, right? So I was in there for a day, and then my dad opened the door, dragged me out. So I was like,
Mm.
is that a bad idea? I don't know. I try not to think about it. But I was hanging out with them. We stayed at a hotel, and then I was taking a hot shower, right? I take really hot showers. So it was like fogging up. And like, I pretend not to see it, but I saw like writing on the glass of the shower room. And I was like, I'm just gonna like not look at
Yeah,
it, right?
I'm
But
just, you do you.
yeah, like I see nothing. So, but after I shower, because the fog was still there, I went and I grabbed my mom and I was like, Mom, I need you to enter the shower. And my mom also saw the writing and she was like, Oh, that's normal. So here's the thing, like, because my mom was there, I did see it, right? And she's like, Oh, that's normal because, like, sometimes with glass, like, people, they would write down the code of the glass and then they would wipe it off when they install it. So maybe that's just like the remnants of, like,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
anti-fog ink,
Mm-hmm.
right? So maybe that's just what it is. No, girl. So without
I hate
like
you.
I'm
I'm about to
Javanese.
shower. I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
I'm Javanese. So if you don't know this, we have a traditional way of writing like hold on, let me see.
I'm
So
not
we
showering. I'm
have
going upstairs and taking a nap in the couch in the living room in front of the whole family. I do not care.
let me see if I can yeah, it's a thing called aksara. I'll send you a picture of it right now.
Is
It
it
kind
scary?
of looks Thai. No, this
Okay.
is just like our language before
Mm.
we adopted like a more like alphabets.
You're
This
right.
is
It
how we
does
wrote.
look a lot like Thai. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is how we wrote, and this is how we like our writing system. It's called aksara,
Are you
aksara
telling
Jawa.
me it was written on the mirror like that?
Yeah, and I want you to know, in modern ages, not a lot of people use
Yeah,
aksara.
nobody.
Like, not a lot of people can even write aksara. The only reason I can't write it fluently, but like I know how to write it properly, but I still need like the reference sheet to write the alphabets, right? Because this has like the nani nune ha hi hu he. That's how it's written. So
Mhm.
I don't remember them. My mom, however, still can. The only reason we can is because, like, well, my mom kind of picked it up during
Yeah,
school. But
yeah.
even when my mom was younger, Aksara Jawa wasn't like the most common thing ever. Like, people were already trying to put in like ABC, like
Yeah. Learning.
ABCs
Yeah.
and alphabets,
mhm.
right? So it's like, why the fuck would they write it in Aksara Jawa? Like, why would they write it so traditionally if it's a modernly installed thing? Like, it wasn't like, oh, I stayed in an old hotel. No,
Yeah.
it was quite modern actually. So it's like, why would they write it in that? Maybe it is because I don't understand. I can't read it, right? Because I can't read Aksara, and my mom refuses to tell me what it says because she said like, oh, I can't read it because it's upside down. So I was like, okay. So I was like, whatever. But until today, I still think about it sometimes, where it's like, ooh, kind of
Thanks.
spooky.
I hated that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. I absolutely hated that.
You can send this Aksara Jawa picture to your editor. Editor, if you want to put a picture of what I mean, because Aksara is written a very specific way. It kind of looks like doodles, but they're not. Like, I know what they look like. So I know that Aksara. I just don't know what they mean. So, yeah, for those of you, that's what Aksara looks like.
Oh.
The Aksara Jawa looks like that. So funny.
Thank you, Michi. Okay, it's so funny because I was like, we're gonna find funny not funny, but I was like, we're gonna find spooky Reddit stories. Or like, I feel often with Reddit stories, I usually have a feeling they're fake. You know, a lot of those stories of like, am I the asshole? Or no, actually, those I think are real. But there's a few stories where it's like, and then everybody clapped. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But it's your stories that fucking creep me out, girl. Sorry for my language. It's your stories.
Oh my god, bro. The fact that like I don't have that many scary, because I like to think like when I was born, I think I told you too. When I was born, we had a whole like ceremony for it because of my grandparents
Mm-hmm.
dabbling in black
Mm-hmm.
magic.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be like make sure that we don't get like haunted by spirits because like what my grandpa told me, I remember is like black magic isn't cool, right? Like people think it's like, oh, you get
It's not.
powers or you get
No,
some
I'm
cool
staying
shit.
away from that. I don't need that in my life.
No, my grandparents told me the way it works is what you ask for, you give, like double. So if let's say like you want the ability to like see foresight, like oh, I want to be able to see into the future, or like if let's say something like this is something that my granddad has is we have different spirits, right? In Jawa, we believe in different like spirits. It's kind of like different gods and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he worshipped the god of strength. So
Ooh.
he kind of like his black magic is supposed to be for like strength in a way. Like you can't hurt him, and he can like really hurt you. Like it's one of those. Do I believe it? No joke. When I was younger, I saw my granddad like drag a truck with his bare hands. So yes, I kind of do believe it.
God.
But like,
Sexy, strong man.
yeah, like I did see that. Like that is true. There was like this big truck, and my granddad just like it was like unmoving, and my my granddad had to like bring it somewhere else, like to put it away. So he just kind of like dragged it away. So I don't know. Maybe that is actually easy to do. I don't know. But one of the things that my relative had was the ability of detection. So it's like in their house they have like a little mini well, and you're supposed to like if you look into the well, like they can see where someone or something is. And I remember I asked them, I was
Oh.
like, "Oh my god, does that mean like you can find my lost toy?" Right? Because they're like, "Oh, I can
Mm.
find where it is." I was like, "Oh, I had this favorite toy. Like, oh, can you find it?" And they're like, "Technically, yes, but it's not worth it because every time you do it, you sacrifice something in return."
Yeah, you have to pay
So it's like you
double.
only do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so it's like
interesting.
if I were to do it, like I find your toy and I fucking lose the ability to use my left hand, like it's not fucking worth it, right?
Yeah.
So this was also very predominant because during that time it was wartime, right? So a lot of people have missing loved ones. That's kind of where they come in play, and they're like, this is where they are, you know? So one of the things that we believe in is the curse goes down 7 generations. And I am the third. So another funny thing is, I think I told you I was supposed to be a guy.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
the
you talked
whole
about it.
belief
Mhm.
is this practice has to be continued, right? Because it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
it can't
agreement,
stop.
right? So your youngest son's firstborn son is
Has
like
to do
your,
it.
your youngest son, firstborn son has to continue it. But
Mhm.
when my dad was born and as he grew up, he was like, I don't want to dabble in this black magic shit. And he got himself like completely cleansed. Like it was a whole ritual
Ooh,
that
okay.
lasted like months, by the way. And when I was born, I was a girl, which is weird because all his other siblings, all of them, the firstborns are sons. I just want you to know. Like I'm the only firstborn that isn't a son, right? So during that time, my dad is the youngest.
Mhm.
I'm the firstborn. So I was supposed to continue it. That's why my granddad tried to make me continue it.
Yeah, yeah,
But when
yeah,
I was
yeah.
born, I had a whole ritual practiced on me to make sure that, you know, it's like my dad really did not want to have anything to do with black magic and shit.
Nope.
So
He's like, nope. Not doing that. Mhm.
yeah. And my granddad gave me like this talisman where he said it's like a guardian spirit thing and shit. Like he has that for all my cousin. All of my cousin has it. It's so fucking funny because like my cousin has really cool guardian spirit animals because a lot of our ghosts are like spirits, not ghosts, but
Yeah.
our spirits are half animal, half human hybrids, right?
Ooh, that's awesome. That's like very shamanistic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a lot of them are like half animal creatures. One of my cousin has like a tiger thing,
That
which is super
really cool.
fucking cool,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Tiger
Guess
spirit
mine.
animal. Guess yours. The dodo bird.
Okay, that's just okay. Is that how low you see of me? Okay.
Well, you're gonna be extinct if you don't have
The
kids,
flightless extinct. Okay. My thing is a spider.
Oh, I like that.
So I always like to think like if I see a spider, it's good luck. That's also why I have a
Yeah.
pet tarantula because I
Mhm.
kind of want to rig the system a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
your-
true though. every time I meet someone or do something, I see a spider. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a good day, right? Maybe it's also
I
subconscious. I'm in a
like
better
that.
mood, but it always goes well. That day always goes well if I see a spider. It's like a good luck charm in a way.
I
But
like that. I like that a lot. Okay, a spider is actually a really cool spirit animal. What the heck? I know from what I know, because I have a lot of pals that are really into spiders, where it's like it's supposed to be like you're weaving the threads of fate. You create your destiny, right? Like unlike other predators that
oh,
they like for a tiger, for example, right? A tiger just attacks and overwhelms with sheer strength. But a spider, you have to
mm,
carefully weave the web. You have to have somebody come in. So there's like a lot more intelligence at play, patience.
fuck.
Yeah, you're like, damn.
Everything I don't have, basically.
But no, I
Everything
like,
that isn't me, they'll do it for me.
honestly, if anything, I would think that the spider just makes me feel that you could kind of create your own destiny. You could weave your own destiny in a way that, I don't know. I don't know
The thing
how
is, I
Indonesian shamanism works or black magic. So don't be like, oh, Grandpa Matara said I could weave my destiny. you know?
the thing is, I don't know if the spider's big, that's really cool. If it's like a teeny tiny jumping spider, right? Like,
What if it's a poisonous
go
spider?
for it.
Doesn't matter how big it is. You'll still die.
Well, I don't want to die. I want everyone
But I
else
mean,
to
like your
die.
enemy.
Not,
Well, so think
no,
about
my
it.
enemy.
Small girl,
Well,
big impact, poisonous spider. Think about it. Black Widow.
no, but
all
imagine
that.
it's like,
Oh my God, get
imagine
a
with my
husband and
cousin.
kill
It's
him.
like, oh.
Black Widow.
Oh my god, no! That's even hard. You know, that's one of the things that I asked my granddad. My granddad just laughed, and I was being serious, and my granddad's like, ah. I was like, does that mean like what is the downside? Because there's always a downside to everything. So I was like, what's the downside of
Yeah.
mine? I was like, are all my lovers gonna like die or something? And my granddad's like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
I was
remember
like,
when I
okay.
said if like in the next 10 years I don't find it was like in the last like 5 years, if I don't find a husband, I'll marry you. No, 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 no. No, no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
hear me out though. Like you eat your lovers. I'm supposed to balance it out.
How
You know
are we
what I
gonna
mean?
we
That
can't
way
eat
we're
each
like,
other. We can't cannibalize each other. No, it's like
no,
that
that
doesn't
way
work.
balance it out. Like two negatives equal a positive. Something
No,
math
no, 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 girl.
said so.
Please, please,
Hear
if
me
there's
out.
any
Hear me out.
husbands out there, let me eat you, please. I don't want to be eaten by this spider over here.
Actually, I'm first in line, guys. You gotta remember that. Okay, X twice. I've been here before. I played these games at least double yours. Yeah, you hear that, other husbands out there?
How does
I
it
played this
feel
more.
that some people you're like, think about it. You ever have a favorite coworker? How does it feel to be like a
Why?
favorite coworker twice, Ex coworker.
You know, when you told me, like, you were like, is it me? Am I cursed? I'm like, no, I feel like I'm cursed. Ever since I walked in your life, this happened. I think I cursed you. Because I'm like, out of everyone, I'm just like, you're my favorite one. You are my favorite. No way. Maybe the curse is happening.
Nah. I
Aw.
really do think it's because I have this, because it's happened even when I was much younger, where if I walk into a job,
Mm.
I always, I don't know why. I just can't. If a boss is like, oh, this is how we've done things, I'm like, but why? Just explain it to me. And then they do. And I'm like, okay, I like that. But what if we did things a little different? Because this way we can save money. This way, this is better. Actually, I think we get more customers if we, like, oh, we have a lunch menu, but the cheeseburger never sells. How about we add something that sells? For example, burritos. People love the burrito, So oftentimes at a lot of jobs, I would come in and do that. And then just kind of, I don't know how I do this, but even in video games, whenever I play a video game, I will always die in the prologue, like in the chapter 0. I will die in a way where people will say, I'm a game dev and I've never seen anybody die like this in the game. And I do the same thing. I don't know how I do this. In another life, I was a game tester or a bug fixer. And in this life, I'm just a bug.
Oh my god.
I
True.
genuinely will find
I
bugs
also find bugs
everywhere.
too.
I don't know how I do this. I find bugs everywhere I go.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. I also find bugs, but I think my PC's just shit.
But I think about it, right? Because it's like, I've had this for a long time. And I think it's just because I'm so naive that I don't take no for an answer. I'm like, okay, so we can't do this way. Okay, what if I found a solution? And then I look at solutions. I have that naivete,
That's why I like you though, because I'm the exact opposite, right? I'm very compliant. Like, if you're my boss and you tell me to do something, I'll do it. I'm not gonna question authority, something like that.
Oh, I
but it
question
doesn't mean
everything.
I'm happy to do it.
Mm.
You know, like sometimes I think I've told you, like, especially before, like, once upon a time, I would be like, I don't know why they do that. And then you're like, you should speak up. You should say something. I'm like, no. No, probably I won't do that.
I'd be like, you
But like, I
should
just
ask them.
wonder. Yeah, I'm just like, why do they do that? It's like, you should ask them. I'm like, no, they probably have a reason. But like, I wonder why. But I'm a very you know this. I do not like confrontation, and I don't really talk about issues. The only
true.
time, like, I would say this, the only time I would speak up is if it affects the finances. That's it. Like, if it doesn't affect the finances and I just have to work a bit more, I'll be like, all right, sure. But if it starts fucking up the money or like it gets confusing, then I'll be like, okay, I'll say something about it.
I am a deeply lazy person. And because I enjoy things being easier for me, I have this idea that I can just simplify everything for everybody in their life as well. And I think that's why, like, when I come to jobs or when I come into friend groups, I'm like, oh, I can make this easier. We can work on that. We can, like, patch fix this to make it run smoother. I don't know. And that's what I do. And sometimes,
Mata with
unfortunately,
the updates.
I like updating things. I don't know. Michi, it has been such a pleasure.
I had so much fun.
Me too.
Thank you for
spooked
having me today.
I'm glad we had this talk at the end because now I'm a lot less spooked. I feel very like positive and giggly and happy again.
I'm telling you, it's not because you're lazy, by the way. I think it's because you're actually very ambitious and full of ideas. And it's good. Like, you gotta find people like that, you know? If the world is filled with people like me, nothing is gonna be created. I just want you to know that.
I don't know. I like, maybe that is what it is. I just have so many ideas in my head and I want to be able to do them all, but I can't do them all if, I don't make it easy on myself. I don't know.
You're an innovator. Oh shit, I got bigger. You're an innovator. Okay. You know what I mean?
Must be all my aquarium. Must be the aquarium in me, The alien.
It's the aquarium.
The alien aquarium bug. That's me. Michi, where can we find you and what kind of content do you do? What's going on with you? Talk to me.
Ooh, don't find me. I never tell. If you want to be bored, well, I don't know. If you want something playing in the background while you do something else, I stream on Twitch. My name is Michi Mochievee on every other platform.
She'll be linked below. What games are you playing at the moment? What are you doing? What are you yapping about? Talk to me.
Right now, I'm trying to finish Red Dead Redemption 2 because I haven't played that before, but I got sidetracked with playing like the game Date Everything.
200-hour game, Red Dead Redemption?
Yep.
You're crazy.
Yep.
And
I'm
how's
not even
Date
halfway.
Everything?
Have you played it?
No.
I'm not going to spoil. It's actually, all I can say
you like it?
Is, okay, the game concept itself is very generic. I do think the dialogue is very fun. They wrote it very well, but the icing on top of the cake is, imagine Nostalgia Center, right?
Oh.
You will find the craziest lineup of voice actors in that game. And I'm not going to spoil anything because it's better. No joke. I would rather you play it blind. Like, because I also stepped in it blind.
And
no
you prefer
spoilers.
that.
You should check it out.
No spoilers. I got you.
I do recommend it. The voice acting goes insane. Like, you're just, like, you were talking to someone, you're like, there is no way this is this. There is no way.
There's no way.
It's crazy.
Well, to everybody tuning in, thank you for listening. I'm sorry that this episode may have not been as spooky as you wanted, but we're both huge chickens who do not like getting spooked. For the next episode, we will have viewer submitted stories again. If you would like your story to be in an episode, please submit your stories below. And we're going to see you next time. And remember, stay safe, stay confidential. Bye-bye.